from the caves of the black robes. So, did you know that the U.S. government is a corporation and it operates under corporate rule of international corporate law? Did you know that each city that is incorporated operates under those same contractual agreements as a corporation? And the city is not operated by the people. It is operated under the rules of the contractual agreement of corporation status. And in that being said, that all of the investigations throughout the country is a conflict of interest because it is internally investigated. That literally is a conflict of interest. And that is a sham of a scam, people. Just like the cops, we're investigating ourselves. We have done the investigation and we found no wrongful doings at all. Of course, because you investigated yourselves. And as I had said before, it would be a wonderful thing if Al Capone could have picked his own investigative panel to investigate his crimes. And of course, we know that Al Capone's personal investigation panel would have deemed him at no wrongful doings either. We have a serious, absolute serious problem in this country, people. And this is one of our biggest problems, is that they are policing themselves. And this shows you that's racketeering, that is coercion, that is also conspiracy, people. And we have a criminal organization operating this country. And that's really what it boils down to. And really, your vote really, truly, absolutely just don't really count. You may beg to differ of that because you've been spoon-fed all your life perpetual lies. And when any amount of truth comes to your ears, you will think that that is utterly preposterous because you have been spoon-fed bullshit and lies your entire life. From when you were birthed, you were ensnared in this rapture of constant, absolute, destructive lies that has brought this country to where it is at right now, okay? And that has a lot to say, because where we're at right now is due to the fact of the very people that have been residing in high places throughout the country, all in coercion with the big corporations that run those. And the people behind those corporations we never hear about are also dictating these things. And as a matter of fact, if you look at most of the laws that are being written, most of them really aren't being written by the hands of our politicians. They are being written by outsiders in corporations to protect the corporation state from the people. And that really is the bottom line, what we're dealing with. And like I said before, it is an absolute conflict that the system polices itself internally. That is 100%. Let's put this back. That's 110% conflict of interest. And this is why we don't see any justice in this country. Everything actually is based off of an injustice. All of our laws are based off of injustice. There's no justice. Really? And then the state can't act as the victim, okay? Because they serve us. They can't claim we the people dictated that in the name of a few. to uphold that. They have to actually have a complaint from the people, okay? And as a matter of fact, they can't do due diligence and they can't uphold the law without an outsider, quote, the people, deeming that they want them to do that job, okay? Because we are actually the law, yeah, not the law itself, because that is also, again, a conflict of interest. Serving itself needs to survive by making a business out of crime is what that boils down to. And see how the fire departments work? They work in a total opposite manner. And that's actually how the cops need to work. Called out when needed. It's just like a ticket. That is a farce. Any infraction or anything, as a matter of fact, that the state claims that, let's see how we put that, the people against blah, 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 okay? Well, first of all, the state can't act as the people because they work for the people. They can't do that and by proxy, not whatsoever. That is, again, a conflict of interest because that actually turns them into attacking the people and not upholding the self-interest of the individuals that are the allegations and the rebuttal to that. And also, when the law is on trial, or when anybody or anything is on trial, the law is also on trial. Yes, the law, that's why we have a jury, so that they can determine, and it takes the rigidity out of the bureaucracy of bad laws, because you are bound as a person when you sit on that jury to nullify by saying not guilty to bad laws. And you have that right to say not guilty if that conviction in your heart says, I don't agree with this. Even if it's the most stupidest thing that you felt over the case when you were sitting there listening and reviewing this. And you go, something just stinks about this whole thing, so I'm going to vote not guilty. Well, of course you should, and you absolutely should. And you shouldn't just take for granted what the agents of government are telling you are absolutely the truth, because they can lie. And they've been known to lie on many of occasions to protect their self-interest of the corporate state. This is where we're at in this country, people. We are being drowned in corporatism, in corporate laws, in corporate rules, and it's punishing us severely bad, and it's extorting our wealth, it's extorting our lives, it's even murdering us in the first degree, and they call it legal because they themselves pass the laws to protect themselves from us, and that is a fact. We all know that the corruption in this country is so deep that we're drowning in it. And it's obvious that we can see this right now around our country called America. And let me remind you something. Treason will never be called treason when all of them are committing treason. Thou shalt not call out treason, for that they all will fall and hang for treason. So basically, all of them are committing treason, an act of treason. Because, and I've said this so many times before, if they're not calling out the perps, the ones that work within the system, and make sure that these people are prosecuted, then all of them are complicit, from you're down to your smallest local towns to your incorporated cities to your incorporated counties and into your incorporated states, all the way up to the incorporated federal government. You don't see anybody calling out anybody, nobody filing criminal charges against anybody. This is why it is a conflict of interest for them to police themselves from within. It is up to us. And remember, a piece of paper called the Constitution or the Bill of Rights or anything, that's just a piece of paper with ink on it. It is not a living document, okay? And it only has its weight and power through the people. You are here to defend that. Those pieces of paper, they're not here to defend you. And those people that are in these offices, in those seats, they're not going to defend your rights either. If anything, they will violate your rights in self-interest and in corporate interest. Have a nice day.